I am actually live again. And so I've been thinking about a lot of things. And so I wanted to drop in and share them with you. So I hope you don't mind. You ready? Let's go. So today I want to talk about why they did not choose you or why they stopped choosing you. And I'm actually live in a couple of places, actually like 3 different places. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you that once this video is done, these videos will be removed and they will be put onto my YouTube channel, which is 𝗃𝗵𝗆𝗃 on youtube.com. Today I have not been able to talk, but there's the good news is that I have something that'll talk for me. There it is, 𝗃 on youtube.com. So anyway, yeah, so here's the first thing I want to tell you before we get into today's conversation, revelation, affirmation. Okay, I really need you to stop listening to people that are giving you absolutes on everything in life. I've noticed there's a lot of videos that are out that say, if she's doing this, then this. If he's doing this, then this. And I'm like, listen, there's this thing called discernment. There's another thing called intuition. And sometimes you have to really think it out for yourself. I know that sounded really good. That TikTok was complete fire. I get it. That was awesome. But sometimes it's about what you think and feel. And that's really important. All right. So as you're coming in, let me know where you're coming in from. I would love to know that. I'd love to say hello and greet you properly. But nevertheless, I'm going to get this out. So I hope you all catch it live and don't try to catch the replay, because the only way you'll catch the replay is over on my YouTube channel, and go to 𝗃 on youtube.com to get access to that, and make sure you subscribe. I have noticed in the analytics that about 60% of the people watching all of my videos are not subscribed. Do not be stingy with the 𝗃. Make sure you tap that button. Make sure you tap that bell. Subscribe, and let's do this together. So I was thinking this morning about a situation that I've been dealing with, and also some information that I've been seeing through the reels and online. And I wanted to say this because I've said it to people before. The person that actually has me thinking about this, I've actually said this very thing to their face. So this should not be a shock to them. It'll just be a shock to you. So ultimately, a lot of people are in situations that are challenging, and I mean crazy challenging. Like, you may have been ghosted, somebody's not talking to you, or if they are talking to you, they're not actually treating you the way you should be treated. And this could be romantic, platonic, whatever. There's a lot of relationship upheaval right now. People are being seen for who they are, in good ways and bad ways. Okay, or good ways and not so good ways is what I'll say. And so in the vein of that, I'm sharing this information with you, because sometimes when we've been mistreated, or when we've been quote unquote discarded, or sent away, or someone's ignoring you, they're not taking your calls, whatever the case may be, you may think, okay, well, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? Well, here's the thing. First things first, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to be fixed. You're an ever evolving being, and so you're evolving. You're changing, and that's good, right? But here's the thing. Sometimes you've evolved to a place where you have to realize a few things about people. And I say all this to say, everything about relationships is cyclical. A lot of times people feel like they act as if they're lateral, and I'm going to be honest and say that a lot of people are self-sabotaging themselves as well. So it's not just about that they ghosted you. It's that they ghosted you because they don't feel good enough to be with you, or they don't feel good enough to have a healthy relationship, or they don't feel good enough to manage a relationship with everything else they have going on, mostly because they have poor coping mechanisms, usually brought on by childhood trauma, mommy wounds and daddy wounds. That's a different lie. Let's stay where we need to stay. That being said, the real reason why they didn't choose you, right, or stop choosing you, is because less is more familiar. Less is more familiar. What's going on, y'all? So what are you talking about, Stephanie? What do you mean less is more familiar? Less is more familiar. See, what you have to realize is that you are ever evolving. You're learning, you're growing, you're trying to expand, you're trying to do amazing things, you're trying to put your works into the world. You're doing all of that. And some people aren't used to that. Some people are used to chaotic energy. They love chaos. And the reason why they love chaos is because they were bred to love chaos. They lived in a chaotic home. They had a parent that, wasn't exactly as parental as they should have been. And so they were always sitting around waiting for the shoe to drop. And when the shoe dropped, it was really a big shoe. It was loud, big, really big. Think like Shaquille O'Neal times like 4. It was a really big shoe. And so at the end of the day, the problem is that your peace, remember, because everybody's on peace now, that peace that you're protecting is off-putting to the person who needs chaos to validate themselves. Y'all let me know if this is resonating. Put yep in the comments. And the reason why is, and the unfortunate is that's not their fault, but it is their problem. It's not their fault, but it is their problem. Because when chaos is your norm, when being with someone who is not on the same frequency as you are is your norm, when being able to control the person that you're with and that brings you comfort is your norm, that is less. Because I hate to be the one to break it to you, but healthy relationships don't have any of this in there. Some of you guys are trying to act like relationships are healthy because you're in control of them. Control is not a love language. If you need to control your relationships, then you, my dear, need to engage in some healing. Now, I get it. I told a young man this morning that I was talking to that, oftentimes when we're blindsided as youth and as children and as teenagers, that creates this need to control and this need to know so that we're not blindsided and knocked around again. I get it. I've been there. I have been there. Some of you know my story well enough to know that I lost my father not once, but twice. I lost him once because it takes a lot for me not to say this with the I want to put on it. I lost him once because of hatred. I lost him twice because of his health. The second time I lost him was because of his health. And that was when he ultimately passed away. But if you know me, then you know my story in that I lost my father twice in my life. And the first time was a blindside, sort of. I actually had a dream before all of that nonsense began. Didn't really know what it meant, but I had a dream, right? All right. But in that, being 13 and being blindsided, that is what created the need for me to be in control. I needed to be in control. I didn't want to be blindsided again because to a certain degree, when that happens, you equate the ability to control with mitigating the possibility of loss. Not true. Not true. And now I'm going to talk to the men because I'm live in my men's group as well. Those of you who are trying to maintain dysfunctional relationships, I hate to be the one to break it to you, or minimal. Let's not even talk about dysfunctional relationships. Let's talk about minimal relationships. Let's talk about minimal relationships, mediocre relationships. Nobody's encouraging you. Nobody's edifying you. Nobody's motivating you. You're just existing. You're roommates that maybe have sex sometimes. That's not how any of this works, but you may be at peace with it because you're in control. And I hate to be the one to break it to you, but the need for control is fear-based behavior. You're afraid of being abandoned. You're afraid of being blindsided. You're afraid of being rejected. You're afraid that this person's going to get the drop on you. And listen, control is not the answer. The answer to ensuring that you have healthy, balanced, mutual, reciprocal relationships is that you have them with people that bring the same frequency to the table, or a higher frequency that you can actually manage. If you feel like you're inferior to someone, that is more about your ego chatter. Thank you for that emoji, love. That's more about your ego chatter and your internal dialogue than anything else. We run over here. We got a quick little comment. Hey, hey, hey. Well, hello, 𝗃𝗵𝗶𝘀. Hello, how are you, my darling? But that's more about your ego chatter. Because see, your ego wants to keep, your unhealthy ego wants to keep you stuck and stagnant. It wants to keep you thinking you have to be in control for things to work out for you. But let me ask you a question, home alone face. This is my 𝗃𝗁𝗃𝗀. What's going on? Hey, 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 Gigi, how are you? Hey, 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 Zippy, my Zippy's here. So let me ask you a question. How's that working out for you? How is all that control working out for you? How's all that self-sabotage working out for you? How's all that ghosting and acting as if everything is okay and fronting like you've got it all together when you really don't? How are all those wounds that you refuse to attend to, mommy and daddy and other? How is all of that working out for you? In the words of 𝗷𝗵𝗄𝗃, many of you married on a level that you should have left. Somehow, some of you are still on that level because it's familiar. But nothing amazing happens in the familiar. Growth only happens in discomfort, in dark places. Think about a seed. When a seed is planted, it's not planted in sunlight. I mean, there may be some plants that are planted in sunlight, but for the sake of this example, okay, when a seed is planted, it's planted into dirt. It goes into a dark place. It goes from a light place into a dark place. And in that dark place, it begins a process by which it is grounded and rooted so that it has the propensity and the power that propel it forward so that it may spring up and produce a harvest. Some of you are trying to skip to the harvest because you think that you're controlling the narrative. And I'm like, if you have to control the narrative, then there is no real narrative. Oh, y'all don't want to talk about this today. Y'all don't want to talk about this. Y'all don't want to talk about this. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I can turn the video off. It's completely fine. Because I know that there are people that need to hear this. I know there are. And they will. They're going to get it. But again, like I said, I have been thinking about a situation that I've been dealing with for quite some time. And then, on top of thinking about that situation, some client conversations. Lately, I've been having conversations with men who have been the right man for the wrong woman, just to put it in stephism's terms. Lately, I've been having conversations with people who are unfulfilled in their relationships that feel as if they're unappreciated. And I'm like, okay, I will do the video on whether they're reflecting or projecting. I promise I will do that video. But that's not that video right now, even though I can say to you that if you can check yourself, if you have a complaint about anybody in your life and you say, hey, they're acting as if I'm not a priority. Okay, well, Stephanie, are you acting as if you're a priority? I sure am. Well, then they're projecting. They're projecting. They're not reflecting. I've always taught you that people will reflect back to us the love that we are not giving to ourselves. But if I'm giving myself love, if I'm making myself a priority, if I'm making sure my needs are met, if what I want, need, desire, and deserve is what I need, is what I am focused on, then that person's projecting. They're projecting a need to control. Gigi says, interesting. They're projecting a need to control because they're steeped in fear-based behavior. Why are they steeped in fear-based behavior? Because they haven't healed the wounds that those little T and big T traumas have afforded them within their life. Nobody wants to talk about the mommy wounds. But guess what? We can talk about it today. We can talk about how your mom made you the good guy in the family, like you're the good son or the good daughter. We can talk about that. We can talk about how oftentimes moms have leaned on their sons, and this is skewing male for just a minute, have leaned on their sons when their sons were not strong enough to hold them. That creates a mommy wound, but nobody wants to talk about that. Okay. But you know who is talking about it? your ego, your need to control, your self-sabotage, your inability to take in peace. I remember dating a guy. Oh God, he was fine. But I remember dating a guy years ago. Oh, when was Katrina, y'all? 2005. 2005, I think, was Katrina. And I remember I was dating this guy, and I had never really seen this up close, but he could not handle calm and peace. Never seen anybody like this. I've heard of them, but that was kind of like my first time really experiencing someone who just could not take peace in. Like if peace was happening, this person was rip roaring and ready to go to cause some chaos. And that's why I said the reason why perhaps they didn't choose you, and this could be professionally, personally, romantically, is that less is more familiar to them. A lot of people are white knuckling their trauma because it gives them a valid excuse to act a monkey fool. Yes, I said a monkey fool. Colloquialism meaning monkey fool. Because as long as I can be knee deep, white knuckled in my trauma, then there's a reason why I act this way. And I'm like, listen, how long is the excuse going to be the excuse? You had a crap marriage. Okay. You chose to marry that person. You chose to stay married to that person. Nobody held a gun to your head. And if they did, call the laws. Yes, I said the laws, the popo, the police, law enforcement. You understand what I'm saying. I don't have to translate this. But at some point, though, our trauma, our trials, our tribulations may not have been our fault. They are 1000% our problem and what we have to be responsible for if we want to be healed or healing, because healing is a process. You're never really healed, but you can always be healing. And I realize this is really heavy for a Monday. I realize that it's really heavy. I just did another video. It's being edited right now on Netflix, on a Netflix movie I watched yesterday. So I'm in the mood for content, but I'm really in the mood to share with you information that is going to empower you and help you empower others. Because this is the season for partnership. I told you that in 2021, 22 is the number of partnership. This is the season for divine union. This is the season for divine counterparts to come together. This is the season for you to have what's called in the church covenant connections. But see, you can't have any of that if every time you get a taste of bliss, peace, calm, and greatness, you go running for the hills because less is more familiar. You would rather struggle, stress, and strain through life than to take in the reality that you have been connected to people, to a community, to a person that can bring greatness into your life. But why though? If y'all know anybody like that, put I know in the comments. I know y'all do. I know it's not you. I know that you know some people like this. Like I said, I used to date one and it was so crazy. It was like, and like I said, I had never really experienced it in person, but it was so crazy. Like when things were calm, it's like he would sit back and plot, how can I disrupt this calm? Okay. Everybody's relaxing. Oh no, he has to make noise. Like if everything is quiet, he has to make noise. Less is more familiar to some people. And I'm going to challenge you. You don't have to say who you are, but if you're watching this and you resonate with the less being more familiar, with the need to control, with the self-sabotage, with all of that, send me, hey, Rita, send me a message. However you need to, and say, it's me and I'm tired. Because you should be tired. You should be tired of trying to control every single solitary thing in your life. You should be tired of settling. You should be tired of struggling and being stressed out and straining your way through. You should be tired. So message me, I'm tired, and we will support you. because I am over this. I'm over people making excuses. I'm over people, self-sabotaging. I'm over watching people tank relationships and connections that could be valuable to them, that have been valuable to them, because they're so afraid that somebody is going to leave them. Listen, people, just because somebody leaves you doesn't mean that you're no longer worthy. Our worthiness is not defined by who is present and who is not. That's way too much pressure to put on another human being. It's also codependent. My value, my worth comes from me. It comes from me being right here, sitting here with this sweater, with my still wet hair, because I decided Monday was going to be wash day and video day. Who does that? You don't define me. That day is over. I ran the series finale for that show about 11 years ago. I need you to feel the same way. Y'all let me know if this is resonating. Drop a yep in the comments. Sharing is absolutely caring. However, I will be pulling this video and putting it exclusively on my YouTube channel, which you can go to, steponyoutube.com. Please don't be one of the 61% of the people that watch videos and don't subscribe. Yes, I look at my stats. Please don't do that. But like, if this is resonating, let me know. All right, I get it. I got a yes from Facebook user. Thank you, Facebook user. But listen, guys, listen. This is a season for transformation. Men, women, it's time that you do better. It's time that you learn how to communicate. It's time that you learn how to resolve conflict. Some people are so afraid of an argument that they run away from conflict. I'm like, conflict can be healthy, people. Conflict within itself is not good or bad. If we're in a relationship that matters, there will be conflict. We will disagree. A disagreement is not inherently automatically linked to an argument. If it is, that is dysfunctional. That means that one or both of you are emotionally immature and you lack the inability to de-escalate because you are now triggered to want to win. Hey, Miss Debbie Ann Taylor. So you know what? That's really all I have to say about that. I could go on and on and on. I'm so glad. Thank you. I appreciate the support. And like I said, I put this post on my page as well. But I am really grateful for those of you who support, who take the time to listen, take the time out of your day to listen, to subscribe, to enroll, to be in groups, to see value in the work that I'm doing in the world. You are not forgotten. You're not going unnoticed. I see you. I'm sending you all the love. Yeah. I just want you to know that, and you all know who you are. But nevertheless, I think, that's all I have to say about that. That's really all I have to say about that. And I think I've said enough. Like, seriously, if you feel like, if you have a question, please drop it into the comments. But I think I've said enough on that. And I feel like, again, if you're resonating with accepting less as kind of your power play, like if I accept less, I can control it. If that's you in any shape, form, or fashion, then I need you to message me. I need you to say I'm tired. And when you say that, then I'll know exactly why you're saying it, and we will make sure that you are supported, because this is your last season. If you let it be, this could be your last season of self-sabotage. This could be your last season of struggle. I feel like there's a lot of people who really have greatness inscribed upon them, but too many people have taken the pen and crossed that out. They've written over it. But here's the thing, guys. You ready for this? You ready? You thought they wrote it in ink. It's written in pencil. So I want you to get your big eraser, and I want you to start erasing that stuff off of your heart, off of your mind, off of your head, off of your soul. I want you to start erasing it by way of healing, by way of being connected to individuals who will support you in your desire to heal, being connected to individuals and maybe even organizations, especially if you're a guy, that, you know, will let you know that you are indeed worthy of amazing things, amazing experiences, amazing adventures, amazing everything. Hello, hello. Do that. Erase that stuff off of you. It's not written in pen, and it's not even etched in stone. It's written in pencil. It was just written really big or bigly. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that, guys. If this was meaningful, put yep in the comments. Those of you who are watching in the groups, I will be pulling this video as well as on my page. I will be pulling this video and adding it exclusively to my YouTube channel, which you can get to at 𝘃𝗶𝗄𝗏𝑜�n_YouTube.com, 𝘃𝗶𝗄𝗏_YouTube.com. Because guys, seriously, those of you who are starting YouTube channels, please don't try to promote channel 1, 2, 3, 8, 7, 8, 9, 12XT. Like, no. Go to Steph on YouTube. Please make sure you subscribe. Don't be stingy with the Steph. That's all I got to say about that. I think I'm tired. I think it's time for a nap. Some of you know I don't see clients on Monday or Friday, so I think I can make nap great again. You ready? My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie. I'm a speaker, teacher, author, and coach, here to remind you to always be your own superhero. And as I always do, guys, thank you so much for learning and transforming and healing and just living a life that is empowered and full of everything you want, need, desire, and deserve with me. Have a beautiful day.